this is a blessing more than anything.
No doubt, absolutely.
So,
It's mutual, for
no
sure.
doubt.
All right, yeah, man. So listen, man, you know, stranger to the scene, man. You've been around, you know what I'm saying, the
For a
block
little bit.
more than a few times, you know what I mean?
A little bit.
Right. So, you know, for our audience listening, can you just hit us with a quick background?
Oh shit! I am hip hop. Period. There's nothing that anybody can say or tell me. You know, been there, did that.
Yeah.
Good and bad. Was still in New York at the earliest stages before it even made it out of New York. So, you know.
Right. So you come from New York.
I come from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. Yeah. Tell us about life growing up there.
It was pandemonium. Shit.
Right.
You know, I just appreciated the fact that I grew up in such a multicultural environment that it taught you either to be cultured or an ignoramus, and I chose to be cultured, which means I opened, you know, my heart and my mind up, knowing that I was actually growing up with first and second generation Americans. You know, Ellis Island is the port that all immigrants came into this country through in New York before migrating to the rest of the country. And so I grew up with pretty much every single culture from around the world. Wow. There wasn't just a little of this or a little of that. Or it was a lot of this and a lot of that.
Now, what part of Brooklyn?
Shit, you're Brooklynite, it really doesn't matter. Yeah. I was born at King County Hospital. I lived in Bedford-Stuyvesant, I lived in Flatbush, I lived in Crown Heights, I lived in Williamsburg and Greenpoint, East New York, Brownsville. You know, I come from a tribe.
Yeah,
and so, you know, my mother was the youngest of a very large family. And so my aunts and uncles were all over Brooklyn. So wherever you went in that neighborhood, you were at home.
Right.
Because my family was such a big family.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. You know, I was born in the '90s, so I caught a little wind of that I still kind of expect to see that in the village today. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's a hard thing to swallow, that it doesn't exist like that.
It really is.
You know, where you know, your neighbors knew your family. You know,
your neighbor will whoop you if they saw you cutting up.
Something like, and say something disrespectful, because you're gonna get it worse when you get home.
Right.
You know, if you're visiting one friend on the block and they're cooking, you're actually gonna be having dinner with them. They will call your mother and say, "Hey, I'm cooking, and Ronnie is gonna be here." You know what I mean? That's the way I grew up, where it was a village that raised us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those values are pretty much non-existent.
Yeah. Today.
You know. Yeah, it's pretty much non-existent.
And so you grew up in New York until what age?
Period.
Period.
Because no matter where I went and migrated to, I always ended up back. Do you get what I'm saying?